Okay, it's Thursday, July 17th, and this is Weather Outlook. And need I say, tomorrow is a nice day and cooler and less humid and not much rain to speak of, but it won't last forever. This is your temperatures probably around, say, 5 o'clock. And as you can see, it's cooled off up here to the north. The front is coming through. And yet where it hasn't, you can see temperatures in Pittsburgh and then southeastern, south central PA. They're still in the 80s, near 90, some temperatures in the 90s out here. I know it's 88 here now, but it was like around 92 earlier this afternoon. So the heat is still going on down here in Delaware and Jersey also. Now the cooler air is going to slowly move in a little bit here. It's going to mix in, but as you can see, this is our radar from 6 o'clock to around 7, 8. Here's 9. Here's 10 o'clock, and there's not much going on. There's a little bit of action in the southwestern part of the state, but this takes you to around 5 a.m., and you can see it just around the southern part of the state. But here's tomorrow. Isn't this nice? This is around 1 o'clock. There's 2 o'clock, just south of Pittsburgh, a little action again. And again, still there around 3. Here's 4. Here's 5. Here's 6. Here's 7. Here's 8, 9, 10. As you get the idea, tomorrow's a little clouds and some sprinkles out in the southwestern part of the state, even a little bit in south central, but no heavy rainfall to worry about. So isn't that a good thing? Tomorrow's temperatures really look nice. Here's tomorrow's high temperatures. Look at that. Even where it's in the 90s, tomorrow will just be in the mid 80s. Poconos up towards Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, middle to upper 70s. South Pittsburgh, you can see where there's been a little bit of rain, clouds. It's in the 70s there, but as you get to Pittsburgh, it gets near 80 and above. Out by Williamsport, right around 80. Pretty much that's the story there. Bradford, 74. Erie, 71. So take it for what it's worth. Along the Jersey Shore, temperatures basically around the low 80s, mid 80s inland. Same thing in Delaware. But here's the big things. Your relative humidities are down into the 50s, low 60s. The only place that's warmed, got a lot of humidity is where it's raining in southwestern PA. But everybody else, humidities are down. Along the Jersey Shore, humidity's up a little bit because of the ocean. But really, that's a comfortable day tomorrow. It is the best way to describe it. Now, as we move into Saturday, this is right around noontime, and you can see where the temperatures are still 60s up at Mount Pocono there, 70s to the northeast and in the mountains. But everybody's kind of back into the 80s early afternoon. As we get to a little bit further in the afternoon, we get to it's around 4 o'clock, and you can see temperatures out by Pittsburgh got up to the upper 80s to near 90. But notice the eastern part of Pennsylvania and southeastern part of PA, you're back into the 70s in the afternoon, and part of that reasoning is you have some thunderstorms going on, some downpours, and I'm taking this back to around noontime, and you can see how along the southern part here and then it's eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, they start to pop up a little bit. This is around 1 o'clock. Here's 2 o'clock. Here's 3 o'clock. Here's 4 o'clock. Here's 5 o'clock. Um, and as you can see, they're kind of hanging out the southeastern corner. A couple pop up in northern PA, but you'll see as we go through the afternoon into the evening. Now we've moved this out, and we're around 8 o'clock. Here's 9 o'clock, and then now look out western PA. Here's 10 o'clock, and you got a line out here in western PA, which means a little bit of business. Now this is 10 o'clock at night. It's just on Pittsburgh's doorstep. Here's 11 o'clock, and you can see it right along the western border of PA starting to move in. Now, here's the question: does it hang around together? Here's midnight. Here's 1. Here's 2. And you can see there's all small cells right along here. But any of them can be a downpour. And then as we go a little further, here's 3 a.m. Here's 4 a.m. You kind of see it shrinking a little bit. Here's 5. Here's 6. And as it goes east, it shrinks and goes away a little bit. Here's 7 o'clock. And then we're left with a flow out of the west. And here is around 10 o'clock in the morning, and you got a few thunderstorms in central New Jersey. Temperatures at this time, with that rain that's come through, has kind of cooled everything off. Again, this is around 10 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures, basically everybody's in the 70s, except a few spots in central PA and then down towards Jersey and Delaware, Philly. You can see temperatures are still hanging on into the 80s. And then as we get in the afternoon, of course, we warm up a little bit. And this takes you to around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you can see we're talking middle 80s. We're in the hot areas, and 70s in western and northwestern PA. And the Poconos, you might get to 80 during the afternoon on Sunday. Okay, so that's your forecast. I'll update this again tomorrow. So everybody take care and be safe.